Hello, my friends. So Amberlynn is kind of living on Instagram right now because I think she just got a hug box over there, right? She can just keep getting love and support, mostly from herself, pretty clearly. But yeah, she just keeps doing Q&As. So I just thought we'd cover the rest of what is out right now. I'm sure there's going to be more, but let's just keep going. Did you try the blue buzz ball? And the fact that somebody asked this 2 days in a row, friend, who cares? And after that person thought it was so important that they needed to ask 2 days in a row, she just said, no, nope. Why do you justify everything you do after you apologized? Which is absolutely true, right? It's always, if she apologizes, which is rare, it's always because of my BPD or because of the hysterectomy or because of this or that. So she says, I don't try to justify. When I apologize, I mean it. I like to provide context, but my apologies are always sincere. Just like when she said, whether Beck even hears it or not, it's sincere.
I just want to say, whether my apology was behind a paywall, whether it was in a Snapchat, whether it's in a YouTube video, or whether I say it to Beck directly, it is 100% sincere.
No, it's not. If you blame it on something else, it's not sincere. What you need to do is say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, and then stop talking. The whole, I like to provide context, that's justifying. That's what that is. You don't need context. They know what happened. Just say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And then silence. That's it. So shut up. Did you ever, at any time, have food stamps while you were in a relationship with Beck? No, last time I had food stamps was when I was 20. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. I know there was a lot in the Beck and Destiny collab, and, Beck has come out with a lot of information. So I don't remember that being part of it, but I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of messed up if they did have food stamps when they were together, because Amber was just buying all kinds of random crap and lots of food. But I don't know. I mean, I don't believe anything she says, but I don't know. This is kind of a nothing burger to me, other than just the fact that she was making so much money during the Beck era. That would be very strange. And I guess the only way she could do that is if she did it under Beck's name. So I mean, that would be pretty messed up, actually. Now, the more that I talk about it, that would be pretty messed up. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a decent question. I just don't know why Amberlynn would ever tell the truth about that if she did have food stamps back then. So, I mean, I don't know. They probably did, and she's just lying about it. So, who knows? I'm so glad you responded to Salty Crab. These people are literally obsessed. It's been years and years. Yeah, and this is the climax and plot twist, all wrapped up in one. What are you talking about? This isn't the climax or plot twist. Nobody is saying anything new about you, right? As many reaction channels have come and gone, and as many people talk about you, there's not much different, right? We're all saying mostly the same stuff. Now, new information will come out every once in a while, like when Beck, dropped a bomb on us. But overall, it all points to the same things, right? It points to the narcissism and controlling nature and manipulation and all that stuff. It just was proof of what we had already been saying. So this isn't a climax or a plot twist. Nothing's going to change now. You're going to start making YouTube and everything is going to stay exactly the way it was, because it always does. And talk about main character syndrome, right? She really thinks she's the main character in all of our lives, when really it's just like, for example, when I saw that she had posted more questions on her Instagram, I went, oh. And I read through them to see if any of them were interesting. And then I thought, yeah, I could probably talk about a few of these. And I'm going to sit down and talk about them. I'm going to edit for a little bit. And then I'm going to go about my day. And I'm not going to think about Amberlynn until something else happens, Reaction channels that bully should not be able to make money off that kind of content. It's not bullying, right? It's calling you out on your bad behavior. I agree. Reaction channels who are actually offering level-headed critique is one thing, but the bullying and low-key inciting harassment is another. What she means is the ones that kiss my ass are fine. The ones that just tell me how wonderful I am and don't actually give me any pushback, they're fine. Like yo mama, the one that gives me super chats and says, girl, you're doing great, and you go get Beck, and Beck is a loser, and all these people that hate you are losers. Those are the ones that are fine. But anybody actually calling me out on my bullshit, they're bullying. And low-key inciting harassment. Here's the thing. Obviously, the creators, Salty Crab, The Ankle, Jordy, none of them have any control over what their audience does. They just make the content, and then the people watch it, and then they do whatever they're going to do. And how have you not learned by now that it's the internet? People are going to just be shitty sometimes. And if they're contacting you and bothering you, that's not the creator's fault. They're just going to do that. I mean, that's like saying, you know, a game reviewer goes on and says, this game sucks, I don't like it. And then one of their viewers goes and harasses one of the developers of the game. That's like blaming it on the creator that didn't like the game. Like, sorry, they're just putting their opinion out. Now, if they said, hey, go bug that person, then that's a problem. But nobody's doing that. All we're doing is just offering our opinions. People are just going to do what they're going to do. They accepted your offers of money, taking advantage, knowing you long for real friendship and using you. Yep, that's exactly it. I could admit my wrongdoings, but I bet neither of them will admit to using me for money. You can admit to wrongdoings? Girl, where? Is the admitting to wrongdoings in the room with you? Come on. She does not admit to wrongdoings ever. The closest she gets is saying, yeah, I did this thing, but it was because of my BPD. I love how she likes to be like, I can admit my wrongdoings, but I bet they won't. I mean, the lack of self-awareness is just baffling. They didn't use you for money. You were a love bomber. You have said multiple times that that's how you expressed your love. Right? You didn't give them a choice. You would just buy them crap, and then you would hold it over their heads. This is really, really painful to witness. And if this is not Amber typing to herself, then this is bad, man. She is influencing some people because a lot of her audience are young. And the fact that they are believing this kind of stuff is kind of concerning, honestly. But yeah, what she would do is she would say, I want to go to Cheesecake Factory. And everybody else would be like, well, I don't really have the money. And she would be like, we're going to Cheesecake Factory because I have to have my Cheesecake Factory. And obviously she can't go herself. She's reliant on other people to take her places. And so she would offer to pay. She'd be like, here, why don't we go to Cheesecake Factory? I'll pay for everything. And also they don't want to deal with what will happen if they say no. If she says, I want to go to the Cheesecake Factory, and they say, no thanks, she's going to throw a freaking hissy fit. And their life is going to be hell for a while. So they get there, they eat, and then she acts like it's some benevolent act that she has performed for her friends or for her whoever went with her. And then from then on, for a while, she would hold that over their heads. There are several messages to Destiny saying, I paid for your Cheesecake Factory. Why can't you do XYZ? So yeah, that's what narcissists do. It's a controlling mechanism, right? It's a behavior that manipulates people into doing what you want. You pay for stuff and then you hold it over their heads. So no, they weren't using you for money. You were using them for rides and all that other stuff and manipulation. Against bullying, but you harassed Zachary Michael to the point he has to take time for himself. Now, if I remember right, Amber was actually DMing Zachary Michael, like actually behind the scenes DMing them. Now that is harassment, right? If you are DMing somebody who doesn't want to be DM'd by you, that is actual harassment. Making a video about Amberlynn Reed is not harassment. Making a video about somebody is not harassment. DMing them is harassment. And from what I understand, Amber was doing that to Zach. But she says, I didn't harass Zach. The fact that he has been making content on me for years, dissecting my every move and every situation life has thrown at me with a biased mind, so it always came off snarky, condescending, and like he mocked my pain and mental health, and I've had to deal with that, but I finally stand up for myself against thousands, him being one, and he has to leave the internet. But again, you didn't just make a video about it. You were actually harassing. You were actually contacting him behind the scenes. Again, from what I understand. And she keeps saying that all the reaction channels are biased. Like, people got into reacting to you because of your bad behavior. We're not trying to be unbiased. None of the reaction channels are. The interesting and entertaining thing about you is your bad behavior. So of course we're going to be looking for that. There is no such thing as a reaction channel that's unbiased. I mean, except maybe Yo Mama, but how'd that work out for you? It pains me to see, okay, yeah, I'm sure, but also proves that many reaction channels could not handle what I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I am just one person, a very hated person at that. Imagine having thousands ridiculing, belittling, making up rumors, etc. But she never ever takes a second to think why that is. There are hundreds of thousands, at least, content creators on YouTube, and there are very few that are just flat out hated. Why do you think that is? It's not like the internet had a meeting and we all got together and we were like, hear ye, Amberlynn Reed will be the one that we hate. So saith the internet. It's because of your actions. But she is such a victim. She has to be a victim, so she'll never see it that way. She just thinks everybody hates her because she's fat. Or she says that. You know, I don't think she has any self-reflection at all. So I don't think she really cares why. But if she would just take a second to assess her position on the internet, she might find it's because of her behavior. But no, she can never be to blame for anything. Watching you rise above the hate shows how much you've grown, despite what people say. Love you. Thank you. No, friend, whoever this is, most likely Amber. But if not, again, this is concerning that somebody sees what's going on and this is the take. Come on. Some of the things Salty Crab said were appalling. Accountability goes both ways. Proud of your response. Oh my God. That response was one of the dumbest responses I've ever heard. She misunderstood almost everything Salty Crab was saying. It just showed that she's not interested in actually knowing what reaction channels are saying. She just wants everybody to take her seriously and look at her as the good guy, you know, the victim and the hero. And so Salty Crab saying something mean about her, or what she thinks is mean, is a great opportunity for her to play the victim and hero by fighting back. Even though there's nothing to fight back. I mean, she's just a terrible person who does terrible things. And reaction channels just call it out. I truly appreciate that. You're so much stronger than all of them. As someone with BPD, I really see you. And she says, I see you. I said in one of the previous Q&As that I've gotten several emails from people with BPD saying it is really hard to watch her talk about BPD and blame all these different behaviors on BPD because A, they're not behaviors that would be associated with BPD, and she's blaming BPD for those. But also, she's making them look terrible. She's making it look like they're just monsters who have no control over the way that they deal with people or talk to people or interact with the world. So this is most likely Amber, but if not, they're just enabling her. The fact that haters expect you to respect and lovingly embrace girl world reactors is absurd. So absurd. Like, sorry, but no. They've poked and poked. Now I react and I'm the bad guy. Make it make sense. No, you're always the bad guy. What are you talking about? Now you're the bad guy. You are the bad guy. Like, you just are. You have been forever. That's why there are so many reaction channels. But you might notice that this reaction, just all of what's happening right now with Amberlynn, the way she is clearly spiraling and cratering, you might wonder what is different this time. Why is she so out of her mind with all this? And this is what's called a narcissistic collapse. It's when they run out of options for DARVO, right? And it's not working. They can't handle it anymore and they kind of lose their mind. It's actually kind of weird because Amberlynn Reed and Darkside Phil both are having a narcissistic collapse right now, both at the same time, and it is wild to see, but that's a whole different story. It's been fun to watch too, but with Amber, she couldn't control the narrative. All of her attacks and stuff kind of fell flat, and so she's stuck doing this kind of stuff. Drunken live streams, coming out telling all these weird stories and making up things, and it's extreme Darvo. So yeah, she is rewriting history and trying to paint everybody else as the bad guy. This should be studied 100% as a narcissistic collapse because it is a good one. But if any of these, love letters to her or love messages to her are real from real people, we're in trouble, guys. So that's all for this one. I gotta say, this is half satisfying and half frustrating because part of me wonders if some of these people are real sending her these messages, and that sucks. But it's also pretty satisfying because we know some of them aren't, and it's just kind of fun to think of her like typing her own messages like, "You are so brave." I am so brave, So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.